All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do the daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update, and we're also going to include some cryptocurrency news because there's a lot going on right now, so I just want to keep everybody up to date. So we cover Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel, so if that's content that you're interested in, or if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We are almost at 10,000 subscribers, so I really would appreciate anybody that likes the channel and is willing to subscribe. Also, if you smash the like button, that helps get this video out to more people, and feel free to leave a comment below. Our pinned comment has a link to our free Discord, so you're welcome to come over there and join us. So the trading day is not quite over, but there's a little bit of news. So let me go to the news first, and then we'll go to the Bitcoin miner big board, and then we'll take a look at the Bitcoin charts because we have crossed a significant line of support. So this is a pretty big update today. All right, the first thing is just to keep everybody in the loop on the Voyager situation. So if you've watched any of our previous videos, we've gone through this Voyager situation in detail. I do a breakdown of that, and you can watch that right here if you want to. So Voyager did rally yesterday. Voyager is down in a total crash. However, yesterday for one day, it did have a rally on the news that Three Arrow Capital, which owes them $650 million, was going into liquidation. So I think there was a little bit of optimism for one day that, maybe that was happening faster than they thought, and maybe there's some money there somewhere, but that seems to have worn off in just one day because we're basically right back to where we were. 32 cents was the low from 2 days ago. We're at 38.5 cents right now. So we're down 31% on the day, basically erasing the big update. So if you're trading this stock on a day-to-day basis, you may be making or losing a lot of money, but in the big picture, this is still sitting basically at its all-time low. The other development is there's been news with BlockFi that we've been talking about. So today, this article came out. FTX nears deal to acquire BlockFi for $25 million, reports say. Digital assets exchange FTX is nearing a deal to acquire crypto lender BlockFi for $25 million, or a 99% discount to its most recent private market valuation. This according to a report in CNBC. The deal could take months to close according to the report, but a term sheet could be signed by the end of this week. The news comes 1 week after BlockFi announced it had secured a $250 million line of credit from FTX to bolster its balance sheet amid broad declines in major cryptos, including Bitcoin. A separate report in the block stated that the deal would involve turning the $250 million from a loan into equity, although if FTX owns the whole thing, I really don't see what the difference is. So it sounds like they're literally going to get this for not even pennies on the dollar, 1 penny on the dollar. There are private investors that will probably lose all their money in this deal, but this is not a publicly traded stock. So I think FTX is trying to make sure that people don't lose their money. They do not want this crypto world to start spiraling downward. So where they can, they're stepping in and salvaging situations. So this would appear to be one of those situations. Okay, let's take a look at the Bitcoin big board. So the day is not quite over yet, so these numbers may change a little bit, but effectively they've been fairly similar all day. Bitcoin's been down all day. We'll take a look at the chart next. So you can see with 3 exceptions, this is another very red day. So this is the 3rd red day in a row for Bitcoin and for the Bitcoin miners in specific. And they've been pretty heavy red days. Now, let's go through the exceptions. As it seems that there is always 1 or 2 outliers. Today, there's 3 outliers. 3 of these companies are actually having a nice day. Cypher is up 8.6%. Iris Energy, stock ticker IREN, is up 4%, and Stronghold is up 3.7%. So for whatever reason, those guys are having a nice day. If you look at the rest of the board, it is deeply red. So nobody else is having a nice day. Riot and Marathon are both down almost 7% on the day. Bitfarms down 6.3%. GREE is down 7%, and they did get some news out of New York today, so I'm going to have to dig into that. It looks like their permit got rejected, but they're saying that they're grandfathered in and they're going to be able to keep doing business as usual. I think that is in dispute, so I need to dig into that further. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. You can take a look at the rest of the big board and see we're very red. So let's go take a look at the chart and see what's going on. Okay, this is our line of support at 20,000. Remember, this is the 4.5-year line of support. We did have one day a couple of weeks ago where we closed under this line of support, but the very next day we raced right back above it, and we've been above it ever since. Well, last night overnight we went below this, and we have now been below this for the better part of 18 hours. If you zoom in and look, this is a 15-minute time frame, and it just took a couple of 15-minute candles. Once it clearly established that it was below this line, it really broke hard to the downside. So as always, of course, this giant red candle right here was when the U.S. markets opened at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So there's one big giant red candle down. That was the market open. We climbed all the way back up to where we were, only to retrace our steps steps and go all the way back down. And again, the market's not closed yet, so we'll have to see where it finishes. But in general, we have put some distance between ourselves and this $20,000 line. So it looks very, very likely that we will close the candle today below that line of support. That's our 4.5-year line of support, which was the previous high from the previous Bitcoin bull cycle. So I want to get into some bigger time frames and we can take a look at what I think that's going to mean. Okay, just quickly on the 4-hour time frame, this will show you that back on June 18th, so that was 12 days ago, we did have this. These are 4-hour candles, so we did have several of these go break this line of support, and we had several 4-hour candles close below this, but then we raced right back up above it and then held ever since. So the question is, are we going to have another one of these events where we break to the downside and then return to this line of support, or is this the break to the downside where we start heading to lower numbers? To me, honestly, it has that feel about it, although I certainly would not be surprised either way. Let's go to the 1-day time frame and we can get a little better idea. Okay, this is Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame. So you'll see this was the day we were looking at where this one daily candle did close below. We dropped all the way down to 17,585 on that day. This daily candle closed at about 18,950. So that's actually very, very close to where we are right now. So we will see. That would be a very small line of support if we close at or above that. I do think it's more likely we're breaking to the downside. So I want to talk about this next line of support that we had mentioned. I have a line at $15,700. That would represent a 30% pullback from the 200-week moving average. And the reason that we made that line is this is only the third time in the history of Bitcoin that it's ever gone below the 200-week moving average. The other two times that it did that, it quickly shot down 30% and then recovered, within a month back over the 200-week moving average. So it is possible we're now heading in that direction. So we'll have to see where this daily candle closes, and then we'll have to see if we go back above it tomorrow like we did the last time, or if this really is a break to the downside. If it is, that would be about a 16 or 17% break to the downside to hit this line of support. So we'll see if this candle close turns out to be a line of support at around 18,900, or if we close below that, then to me it's seeming more and more likely that maybe we're going to go test this line at 15,760. I know lots of people have lines in between this of support, so we'll see where it goes, but in any instance, you can see today has clearly broken to the downside. The reason I have this green area shaded here is this top line is the line of support that I'm talking about right now. This bottom line would be if we had a full-blown crypto winter and Bitcoin goes 85% down from its all-time high of 69,000. That would be $10,350. I'm not anticipating that. I really do think this line will hold. We'll see if we even test this line, but for the moment, we are trending downward and our next line of support's at 15,700. I want to take a look at the RSI on a couple of time frames because it shows you just how oversold we are right now. This is the RSI on the daily time frame, so you'll see we were very oversold on June 18th when we bottomed out, and we made a little run up, but we now have broken back into oversold territory on the daily time frame. So this is a record of no kind. This does happen from time to time, but we're back into oversold territory, which kind of means it seems like this momentum we were building has fizzled out and we're headed back down. If history is any indicator, the last two times that Bitcoin got below this line, which is the 200 moving week average, within a couple of months, it had bottomed out and gotten back above this line. So this shaded area is my potential area for where a low may be if we're going to go lower. Okay, so real quickly, here is the RSI on the 1 week time frame. Okay, so on the 1 week time frame, you can see we are sitting here at 25.42. I've zoomed out to the point where this is the entire history of Bitcoin. So, okay, so you can see there's an all-time low for Bitcoin on the weekly time frame for the RSI. So let's look at the monthly time frame. Okay, same thing. I've zoomed out, so this is Bitcoin's entire history. This goes, you can see, all the way back to 2011. We're currently sitting at 41 on the monthly RSI. So you can see I've put a line right there. We have never been at 41 on the monthly RSI. We have only 3 times in the history of Bitcoin been under 50. Back in 2015 during the crypto winter, back in 2019, and then we just dipped below it for a minute back in March of 2020 when we had our global incident. So now you can see where we're at is well below where we've ever been before. So Bitcoin is literally historically oversold at this point. That doesn't mean it can't go lower, but it does mean that we should be putting a bottom in sometime soon, something I've been saying for months, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to close out on the 15-minute time frame. We're just a few minutes from the end of trading in the US USA. So it looks like we're going to end near the lows of the day. We're at 18,850-ish right now. So we're going to have to see overnight. So last night we were watching to see if 20,000 would hold. It did not hold. Tonight we're going to see if we head lower or if we try to get back above that $20,000 line. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us test that line, and now we're going to see, is that going to turn into resistance, or can we get back above it? Or lastly, are we just going to continue on downward? So we're going to have to wait and see. We'll check back in tomorrow. So if you made it to the end of this video, thanks so much for watching, and remember to subscribe and smash the like button, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.